Today on OC News, the United Nations calls for a humanitarian pause on the conflict in Israel.
Newport Beach is working on a new pedestrian bridge to increase safety.
And what athletes think about playing on turf over grass.
All this and more coming up on OC News.
Just now in tech news, the first responder on the scene.
There's been a lot of collaborative efforts.
I feel blessed to be here in Fullerton.
Brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State
Fullerton. OC News starts right now.
Welcome to OC News. I'm Miguel Castañeda.
And I'm Sam Enriquez. Thanks for joining us this evening.
We open our coverage with an update on the war between Israel and Hamas. The United Nations Security Council is calling for a humanitarian pause amidst the conflict. Both the United States and Russia have put forth resolutions, however, both failed to pass, as Russia and China vetoed the American resolution, while Russia's resolution failed to get enough votes. These resolutions come as a number of internally displaced people sheltering in the United Nations facilities surpassed 613,000. According to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East, shelters are on average at 2.7 times capacity, with some reaching 12 times their intended occupancy. Many students go their entire career at Cal State Fullerton without ever visiting the Arboretum. Jose Flores met with a CSUF staff member who uses Serenity of the Arboretum to help students.
One stroll through the Arboretum will leave you wanting to revisit and take a break from the stresses of life. Asfani Hamadani's transformative program, Meditate With Me, seeks to do just that.
Instinctive meditation honors individuality.
A certified instinctive meditation teacher, Hamadani leads sessions at the Arboretum every Monday at 12 p.m. and virtually via Zoom every Tuesday at the same time.
Perhaps today I want to lie down and meditate. Perhaps I would like to move while I'm meditating.
In today's fast-paced world, this approach couldn't be timelier. Hamadani firmly believes that carving out time for oneself is crucial for the well-being, especially for students juggling academic pressures.
You see, I was told there was no right or wrong way to do instinctive meditation, so even by lying down, I'm taking part. But it's important to note that if you plan on coming to meditation with me, not to think of it as another thing on your to-do list, but an opportunity to reconnect with your individuality.
It helps us to access our innate wisdom that we all have.
So if you're looking to find your inner self and experience these benefits, Meditate With Me is your ticket to a more balanced, harmonious life. For OC News, I'm Jose Flores.
The city of Newport Beach is taking steps to increase public safety in one of the city's most busy intersections. Dakota Penny has the latest.
In March 2023, the city of Newport Beach began their project to build a pedestrian and bicycle bridge at the intersection of Superior Avenue and West Coast Highway. The adjacent Sunset Ridge Park, which was completed in December 2014, lacked easy access as well as parking for visitors.
I think that they did a great job of not blocking the views of any of the residential communities around, which is not easy to do on a new deal.
The primary goal of this project is to increase parking as well as increase pedestrian and bicycle safety, as well as allow access to Sunset Ridge Park, which is right across the street. The Superior Pedestrian Bridge will serve as a safer route for visitors. Head contractor Joe Perkins explains, "The park was originally built without the benefit of adequate parking, and getting people to access Sunset Ridge Park via the pedestrian bridge rather than illegally crossing the busy intersection will improve both public safety and access."
The bridge, I think, is a fantastic idea. A, for access to a beautiful park, which most people would really enjoy if they knew about it. And B, even more importantly, it's going to be a segue into getting across Pacific Coast Highway for people wanting to go to the park. Because my understanding is that there's already an approval for a connection bridge to go across, which will allow people to cross, and they're doubling the parking.
The city of Newport Beach hopes to overall increase public safety and make Sunset Ridge Park more accessible, with an additional 129 parking spaces and expanded grass area for visitors to enjoy the view. This project is still in progress and is expected to be completed in May 2024. This is Dakota Penny for OC News.
Coming up after the short commercial break, do athletes prefer grass or turf?
Plus, the MLB playoffs is coming to a close, but the NBA season is just getting started.
And is Tinder letting your mom approve your match?
All this and more coming up on OC News.
A Rhode Island firefighter is being lauded for his off-duty actions at a father-son baseball game. 26-year-old Douglas Barlow was practicing for a father-son baseball team when one of the other dads experienced a medical emergency. According to Barlow, the man was rounding second base when he started to slow down and eventually fell to the ground. Barlow said he instantly snapped into work mode. He checked for a pulse but could not find one and began CPR. He was able to continue performing CPR until paramedics could arrive and take the man to a nearby hospital. The man was up and able to walk that night as a result of Barlow's actions, which he recounted as almost instinctual.
Luckily, the training, I didn't have to think too much about my training anymore. It just walked out of me naturally.
Turf fields are a big investment for cities, but now it's possible that turf may be banned. Sarah Granillo has more on the backlash of artificial turf.
There are many concerns when it comes to athletes playing on turf. Here at Cal State Fullerton, there are only natural grass fields, but this is not the case for all the fields in our community. Let's take a closer look into the college athletes in our community to see if they prefer turf or natural grass on their fields.
I don't have too many opportunities to play on grass fields anymore, but when I do play on them, I love them. If it's a good grass field, the ones that are grass, they're definitely better to play on because they just feel more comfortable for your feet. Like, you're not slipping as much. I'm not gonna lie, I typically slip like once a day.
I am standing here at Hillcrest Park in Fullerton, where they actually use turf for their football field. Now, as you can see, when I lean down to pick the turf up off of the ground, it's actually made up of tiny pieces of tire and plastic mixed together. When athletes come together to play on a turf field, it's really likely that it can cause them severe knee injuries, turf burns, and in some cases can even cause cancer. Governor Newsom signed a bill just days ago that will allow local governments to now ban the use of artificial turf. Although they may look harmless, the issue lies with the material being used.
Grass moves, turf doesn't move, so when you cut, sometimes the grass can move with you and prevent injuries. Sometimes turf is just stiff, and when you cut on turf, you can just sometimes slip. I slip a lot sometimes, especially on this field, but personally I prefer turf.
With so many concerns about health and physical injuries, it is likely that fields will begin switching back to natural grass instead of turf.
In Walnut, California, the world's largest cross-country meet happens every year. The first Mount Sac Invitational took place in 1948. In the last 2 weekends, they celebrated their 75th annual meet. Joshua Potts has a story.
The cheering, the grit, and pure competition at the Mount Sac Invitational celebrated 75 years this past weekend.
It's really the best cross-country invitational. We call it an extravaganza because it really is.
Tim Aroke, the former meet director of 25 years, says in totaling the college, elementary, middle, and high school races, 600 schools and 18,000 athletes competed this year.
This is the same course that Galen Rupp, who went on to be two-time Olympic medalist, Meb Keflezighi, Olympic medalist, Dina Castor, Olympic medalist. Now you're getting a little 13-year-old girl from Fresno come down and run the same course as those elite athletes.
I even ran here at 7 years old and suffered just like these many high schoolers here today. But we seem to be coming back countless time after time again to enjoy the Mount Sac experience.
Mount Sac is like one of those races that you remember like pretty vividly. And it's like I kind of got the sense of nostalgia being back here again.
That nostalgia comes from the course. It hasn't even changed since the late 70s.
It's been the exact same course. So you could go back if your grandparents raced here, if your parents raced here, you could go back and you could compare yourself.
So how does a race stay around for 75 years? Become legendary.
The coach from Idaho was down here a few years ago for the Foot Locker and said this is a cathedral, and it is. This is our Vatican, if you will, for our sport.
For now 75 years, Mount Sac has held a special place for the running community. In Walnut, Joshua Potts, OC News.
Rejoice, sports fans. All major sports are in full swing. Let's check out the latest with Francisco Molina.
That's right, Sam. Well, baseball fans were spoiled with 2 Game 7s back-to-back, and the NBA season has once again returned. Let's not wait any longer and get right into it.
We go to Houston for the Texas Showdown, where the Rangers score early on top of the first with Corey Seager's bomb. But it doesn't stop there. We go to the top of the third. Rangers up 3-1. Adolis Garcia, watch that on cam. Garcia, talk that talk and walk that walk. That ball is gone like a Chick-fil-A employee on a Sunday. Rangers lead 4-1. Astros respond. Alex Bregman hits the solo home run to help keep his team's hope alive. That doesn't last for long, though. Garcia's single increases the Rangers' lead to 6. And yes, Houston, we have a problem. Bottom of the ninth, where Leclerc takes care of business, and the Rangers are now advancing to the World Series. We go to Philly, where it was electric for their Game 7. Bottom of the fourth, Bryson Stott hits one to left center field. Teammate Alec Bohm races around second and third and lands home to put the Phillies up by 1. The Diamondbacks, however, showing everyone once again how they went from underdog to top dog with Corbin Carroll's fly ball to right field that allows Perdomo to touch home, which increases Arizona's lead by 2. Sewald puts the icing on the cake by getting it done in the bottom of the ninth, and the Arizona Diamondbacks are heading to the World Series. We go to Denver, where the defending champs take on the Lakers in their season opener. Nikola Jokic starting off where he left off, getting it done against Anthony Davis. Davis, however, doesn't back down and shows Jokic on the opposite end he can also be a threat in the paint. We go to the fourth, where LeBron hits a 3 to cut Denver's lead down to 3. However, the Nuggets were too much for LeBron and the Lakers and win their first game of the year. Nuggets take on the Grizzlies for their next game.
Well, for those who don't know, the Arizona Diamondbacks have not won a World Series since our very own Professor Gail Brisbane has covered them. So we might have to talk to our production crew and send her out there to take care of some of those games. I know those Diamondback fans would appreciate it. Well, that's all I have for you in the world of sports. Back to you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Francisco. But man, how about those Diamondbacks? I mean, coming into the playoffs, shocking the world. I didn't see it coming. Did you see it coming?
I didn't either, to be honest. But, well, coming up after a short break, a book is bringing a new perspective on being a leader.
And we bring you the latest in entertainment featuring Taylor Swift and more.
I got the weather.
Guess what? It's cold. All that and more coming up on OC News after the break.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
The ever-changing weather patterns in California has us packing sweaters and shorts all at the same time. We head over to our weatherman, Jose Flores, for the latest.
That's right, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the news, the weather. Let's go. You know I'm excited. Let me try to tell you guys something you don't already know. Let's go to the current temperatures right now. If you walked outside right now, it's about 70 degrees outside. It's pretty good, but you know, you can kind of get that if you walked outside, kind of looked around, maybe you also get that smell, right? That smelly smell, that smells smelly. You're like, what does that taste? You might think to yourself, did it rain last night? You would be correct. It did in fact rain last night. So you know the asphalt, the concrete kind of picks up that smell. So you're like, I don't know, I like that taste. I like that smell. I don't know about y'all. I might be weird on that one. And also we got morning fog, right? So now there's fog in the morning. So I mean, it's my favorite time of the year. I love the fog. I love stuff like that. But you also might be thinking, okay, so it rained last night. Will it rain again tomorrow night? Let's talk about what we got going on tomorrow, right? Not tomorrow night, tonight, like what's happening right now, right? Tonight, it's gonna be about 61 degrees outside with a 20% chance of, what do they call it? They called it patchy drizzle. What exactly does that mean? I'm not quite sure. Let me tell you guys what I found out, right? So I looked into it. I was like, okay, so what does 20% mean? I looked through all the publications. Like, what exactly does that mean? So some people say 20% chance, right? That means 100% chance it will rain, but in 20% of your area. Other people telling me, okay, 20% chance it's gonna rain at all, so 80% chance it won't rain. I'm not quite sure, man. I'm just doing my best trying to give you guys the best information that I can, just a college student here. So I mean, my best advice, they said patchy drizzle, so you should be good if you go outside. Maybe bring an umbrella if you're sensitive, but you should be good. Let's go ahead and let's go talk about the 5-day forecast, something that I can actually talk about Fahrenheit, right? I learned Fahrenheit at a very young age. I feel comfortable talking about degrees, right? So like I said, we're finally moving away from like the 80 and 90 degrees, right? It's been really hot. It feels like summer just wouldn't go away, right? But finally now middle October, like I was at the pumpkin patch, right? Trying to find the perfect pumpkin, but I couldn't even wear my favorite fall sweater because it's too hot. I'm sweating, it's ridiculous. But we're finally moving away from those hot temperatures starting to cool down. We haven't gotten to the point where it's like totally cool, where you could cuddle up by the fire with like a furry blanket or a fuzzy blanket. I said furry, I didn't mean furry. Like a fuzzy blanket. No offense, like if you're a furry, like shout out to all the furries out there. Like furries are people too, #fursona if you got one. But that's getting off topic. I said, we're not getting cool enough so you could curl up by the fire with a good book, some marshmallows, and a fuzzy blanket. But like I said, it's getting cloudy, it's nice. And then going into the weekend, it's gonna be about 73 degrees and sunny, which is a lot different than 80 degrees and sunny, right? So we're finally getting cooler on that downward trend. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can continue to get cooler and cooler. So that way, come November, come December, we're getting to the winter weather that we're kind of used to right over here in Southern California. Obviously, it's not gonna be blizzarding cold, but it's been kind of blazing hot the past couple of weeks. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we move into better weather. That's all I got for you guys today on the weather report. Hopefully I told you guys something you haven't already known. Back to you gentlemen at the desk.
Thank you, Jose. I'll make sure to watch out for that patchy drizzle. On October 21st, the writers Dr. Jolene Church and Dr. Annette Martin have their new book release at the Hangout in Long Beach, California. Diaberero has the details.
Leading the Charge for Change is the new book of the authors Dr. Church and Dr. Moran. The main goal of this book is to inspire women to learn about leadership.
What's important for women to know about leadership is how to manage your inner self and be authentic, because that's what really helps other women learn to be their authentic selves.
By reading this book, you will have many stories that will guide you and inspire you to start where you want to go.
These book stories are a reminder that the future belongs to those who dare to lead, who inspire change, and who are unapologetically themselves.
Everybody has a story, and so many women especially minimize that story, like the impact of their story. They don't even realize the impact that they're having on other people's lives, and so they minimize that. And we wanted to make sure that as many stories as could get into this book got into this book.
Ashley Nussbaum, a person from the audience, mentioned that for her this book made her feel unique in a good way.
To have a book like this, it means that whether
in my professional life or personal life, I can be a leader. It doesn't necessarily mean that I have to do something extravagant. It just means to, take control of my life.
If you're interested in buying a hard copy of this book, you can find it at Amazon.com for $19.99 US.
Tinder users can now invite friends and family to check out their potential matches. The Tinder dating app's new feature is called Tinder Matchmaker. Whenever you see a potential match, you can see a link to friends or family for their opinion. The people you send the link to can then log in as a guest or a user and recommend the person if they think it's a match. You can then see which potential matches have been approved by your friends or family.
The world of entertainment had another great week of headlines and hot topic. Sarah Granillo has the latest.
Thank you and good evening. From music to movies to red carpets, there's always something brewing in Hollywood. Here's your entertainment top 3 for this week.
Taylor Swift is living out her wildest dreams as her Eras Tour movie steals the show for another week, ranking #1 in the box office. Swifties from all over are filling any available seats in theaters to not only see the movie, but maybe even get a chance to meet Taylor Swift. Let's take a look.
Honestly, the fact that this tour was such a grand adventure has everything to do with the ways in which you cared about this tour and about these shows. I think that you'll see that you're absolutely a main character in the film, because it was your magic and your attention to detail and your sense of humor and the ways that you lean into what I'm doing. That is.
Swift continued to surprise many theaters with her appearance to thank all of her fans for their support. The highly anticipated horror film Five Nights at Freddy's premieres this Friday, October 27th, starring Josh Hutcherson, who has finally made it back to the big screens for this chilling adventure.
We're going to have so much fun together.
The fans were first and foremost in our minds in terms of audience and wanting to make sure that this really landed for them. But we also wanted to make it a film that worked in its own right.
Have you met them yet?
Met who?
Don't forget to book your tickets to see this spooky movie just in time for Halloween. Taking a look into the music industry, Pink opened up in an interview with 60 Minutes about her experience of nearly dying from a drug overdose as a teenager.
There's a power in believing in yourself. There's a power in not giving up on life and on not giving up on yourself. And there's a power in making a decision that, while you may not be the best that ever did it.
The singer explains the incident took place while she was at a rave in 1995. She also revealed this was the last time she ever took hard drugs. Shortly after the scare, she scored her first record deal, which paved the pathway for success in her solo career.
Well, that's all I have for this week. Thank you for tuning in to your Entertainment Top 3. I'm Sarah Granillo with OC News. Back to you, Miguel.
Taco Bell's battle to free the Taco Tuesday trademark is officially over. Taco Bell said it fought to cancel the trademark because the commonly used phrase Taco Tuesday should be freely available to everyone. A New Jersey restaurant was the last to hold on to the trademark, but Gregory's Restaurant and Bar forfeited its trademark after more than 4 decades of owning it. Now, the phrase Taco Tuesday is available to anyone who sells, eats, or celebrates tacos. I know LeBron may have lost on Tuesday to the Nuggets, but at least he gets to enjoy some Taco Tuesday.
I mean, I know I will be. Thank you for joining us tonight on OC News. Our next telecast will be coming up shortly.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page at Titan TV. From all of us here at OC News, have a lovely evening.